It took, honestly, a couple years before I really was paying myself, a decent salary.
I've got Lanford Holloway, who runs TerraStride, an amazing company here in Columbia, South Carolina. We're at the SoCo space, which is freaking phenomenal. It's a workspace, but a little bit of a bar and all kinds of stuff. And you're involved in the community here and growing Columbia's entrepreneurship. Lanford, TerraStride is an amazing company helping hunters. How does it help a hunter?
Thank you, Pedro. Well, it helps hunters by allowing them to really mark up the property. So hunters care a lot about where things are, of course, on a piece of land. And you can't get that stuff from Google Maps because obviously they're not driving their cars around. We're talking about woods mostly. So HuntStand is a social mapping app that allows you to annotate, which means, drop in markers that relate to, places or fields, streams, roads, boundaries, anything you might care about. And then you can share that with your fellow hunters and they can make edits and share it back with you. It does a lot of other things too that I won't go into, but mostly social mapping app.
But you got 6.5 million hunters using it around the world, right?
About 2 million hunters actually using it. But yes, it's been downloaded about 6
million. So you got 2 million hunters using this app. It's unbelievable. It's just so cool. So as you think back from when you were starting it, one of my favorite things is to ask, at what point were you getting paid compared to your employees? And I know your story. So where in your life cycle were you in the early stages of getting paid?
It took, honestly, a couple years before I really was paying myself, a decent salary. When we first started, we, of course, had a couple engineers and some other folks on the team. I had a little more company equity than they did because I was the founder of the company. But, these guys wanted to get paid. I was working, eventually, hopefully, for some kind of payout. And these guys were too. They had some ownership also, but they also wanted, a better salary. So after graduating from business school, this would have been in 2013, I paid myself about $1,000 a month for
$1,000 a month
for a long time. And it was really, really hard. So even though I was the founder and the CEO, to the extent that the titles even matter for a 5 or 6 person team, it seems kind of silly in retrospect. But yeah, I was probably the 4th or 5th highest paid person on our small team, just because we were taking all the cash that we had, plowing it into the product, which meant paying engineers and some other folks on the team. And it was.
But you had good jobs before you started, right?
Yep.
So what did you do? How did you get to this place that you could take such a low salary and pay the bills?
It was hard, like I said. So I was living in an extremely modest manner, I guess I'll say it that way. But also I had a real gift, both because of some scholarships and some other things that kind of coalesced. I didn't have a lot of debt from grad school, so I could afford to not, be making much money. I mean, I wasn't spending much money, right? I mean, I was living, like I said, very modestly. But that was a real gift to be able to sort of chase my dreams. And that's an important thing that I think is often overlooked, is that a lot of folks after grad school can't do something like that because they have to be paying down the student loan debt. And it really does limit the types of jobs that you can take because you can't afford to not be getting paid a lot of money.
I think it's very common that a lot of entrepreneurs are in the bottom list of who's getting paid at the company because they're taking that risk to grow the company and move it forward. And you can create models like Profit First. I'm not saying don't create them, but the reality is at some point when it comes down to who's getting paid this month, you're going to have to take the hit, right?
That's right.
So it's impressive. And today the team is how big?
We're 21 people.
At 21 people, would you say you're still in the bottom 50%?
Probably not quite there anymore. Maybe not in the very top spot.
The tide has turned, if you know what I'm saying. But no, and you deserve all the success because you guys are growing like crazy. And I appreciate what you've done for the community.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Good to see you. We can't do Entrepreneur Studio without our sponsors. Please support them because they're supporting entrepreneurship.